News at 6 with Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. Darling Street in Rozelle is still a scene of devastation tonight after the panic and fear that followed an explosion and fire at a convenience store. The blast so powerful it was heard in neighbouring suburbs. In the inferno that followed, no one noticed at first that Bianca O'Brien and her baby son Jude were missing, as was a man lost somewhere in the rubble. All three are still unaccounted for. We begin our extensive coverage as the flames rage and rescuers realise people are trapped.
Electrical surges and the grinding of metal screamed from the building. And with sirens approaching from the distance and a handful of firefighters already there, residents, both dazed and filled with adrenaline, knew this was a catastrophe.
People in there! There's people in there! Hey! 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 There's people in there!
There were 6 people trapped inside a burning building.
Mate, get a unit out the back! In there above the fire! Get a unit out the back!
Out the back of what was, just moments earlier, a convenience store. 2 people were able to jump to safety from a first-floor window.
He's out.
Firefighters did what they could. They pulled the store owner from underneath a fridge after spotting his hand protruding from the rubble. But not everyone got out.
Someone up there still.
31-year-old Bianca O'Brien and her 12-month-old baby boy, Jude, had been asleep upstairs when husband and father, John, left them at 3:30 a.m. to go to work. Within 45 minutes, he received a phone call to come back. He could only watch flames raging from his home, walls collapsing. Desperation, pandemonium, and there was nothing he could do about it.
The neighbours were screaming. One of their flatmates was still in there, and it all happened so quickly.
The other presumed victim is 30-year-old Chris Noble, who lived upstairs in the adjoining unit. Neighbours are distraught.
And it was just carnage. It was unbelievable. The cars were on fire. There was so much debris sprayed across the road.
An earthquake or, sounded like a massive bomb.
I'm lucky. Looking at it, the explosion went out into Darling Street. Had it exploded up, I may not be here.
It was not a fire, it just resembled a bomb scene.
This was an explosion, and in all likelihood it was deliberate. As many as 14 shops were damaged or destroyed. Sniffer dogs were used to detect any accelerants, and despite the destruction...
Yeah, it's still a rescue. As horrific as the scene is down there, we're still holding out hopes that there may be some survivors.
The search for Chris Noble, Bianca O'Brien and her little boy, and for the cause, has proven difficult. The buildings are not stable.
We have monitors set up, specialised monitors, and if this building moves up to 5 millimetres, an alarm will sound and we'll have to pull everybody out.
We're a community in Rozelle, and we all support the convenience store and shop there.
This is the convenience store owner. He's one of 4 people being treated in hospital, including a firefighter injured in the rescue attempt. John O'Brien spent the worst day of his life with friends at Balmain Police Station. He's been offered counselling, but what soothing words could anyone possibly offer him tonight?
And Robert Ovadia is in Rozelle for us tonight. Rob, what's happening there now?
Well, Mark, right now it's simply a brick-by-brick proposition. A report is being prepared for the coroner regardless of any deaths. That's what happens with major fires like this. I'm joined right now by Fire Superintendent Ian Crimmer. Ian, what is the latest?
Well, look, we're still, as you said, going through brick by brick. We're utilising search cameras, listening devices, sniffer dogs. We've got to be very careful as we go through this rubble pile. As we move bricks, it could create instability of other parts of the structure. So it is a slow process, but we'll keep working 24 hours until we get a result.
Right now, police will not commit to a certain direction, but they're fairly confident this is suspicious. Have the sniffer dogs detected any petrol or accelerant here?
Well, the dogs that we've had here have been mainly looking for survivors and victims. There are suspicious circumstances, as you've stated, but at this stage we're still working on the philosophy that it's a rescue operation. It's a long work ahead of us. The firefighters that we have here are urban search and rescue specialists. These are the firefighters that are deployed around the world. We actually have firefighters here who worked at the Thredbo landslip.
Ian Creamer, thank you. And I was speaking to Ian just earlier on, saying that regardless of what could be a grim discovery, that these are professionals and they're used to these sad endings. Hopefully it will be a happy ending for the family, but it is looking highly unlikely, Mark.
OK, Robert Ovadia and Ian Creamer, thank you. So, was the blaze deliberate? A suspicious car, bloodstains and security recordings could prove to be key evidence in the police investigation. Officers have been gathering facts for the coroner, even though the fire is yet to be declared a crime.
Next to Flight Centre, the convenience store and phone shop with 2 flats above have turned into a nightmare of rubble and twisted metal. As rescuers dig away in hope of finding life, specialist police have been brought in to scour the area for any possible clues. Their best leads so far, reports of a silver car seen right after the explosion.
There was a car that was reported driving away at that time. I don't know what part that car plays in this investigation.
This blood could also be evidence. It was found on the footpath near the blast site.
Police are conducting an investigation on behalf of the coroner.
And while plenty of people have recorded the event after it happened, police have been gathering security video shot before the blast.
There is CCTV, there's plenty of it.
Detectives aren't just interested in visual clues, they're analysing voices and sounds captured during the mayhem to help determine the source of the blast and the people closest to it. It's believed Bianca O'Brien was living in a flat with baby Jude and husband John because the family was saving money to buy a home. Chris Noble was in the apartment next door. Police could soon be investigating whether this is an accidental tragedy or murder. Ashley Brown, 7 News.